So you've been a marketer, you've been a salesperson, you've been at the GM level, then jobless, being a salesperson, being a GM again. And during that time, so how did you come up to being your own company
Yeah. Wow.
and being your own company in coaching then?
Very good question. You're a great interviewer, man. Really. Let me say that first and foremost, you do very well in listening. And I think that's what makes you a very approachable and successful person. It's because you listen. And I just want to say that first to encourage you and encourage the listeners to be better listeners. Right?
Thank you,
I will answer the question, but I'll come back to this point first, and I'll say this. Sometimes people think being a coach is having the skill set of asking great questions.
Mhm.
The answer is correct, yes. But the more important part of coaching is actually not question, is listening, is being present, is listening to the things that are not said.
Mhm.
Because there's sometimes we say something, but it's a cover up, it's
Yeah.
it's up here in the surface only. There is other things that the under the iceberg, right, that we're actually very insecure about, we're very uncertain about, and actually all of that impacts the reality in the surface, above the surface, and that's why we show up in different ways. Yeah.
Mm.
Now let's get back to your question. You asked about my entrepreneurial journey. How did that begin? Well, let me say it began because I guess I had enough of corporate life after a while. So that will be like 17 years of corporate, right? So it's like, I think enough already lah. I make successful other people's company. Then the question came in my mind, right? If you make successful other people's company, why don't you make successful your own company?
Exactly.
Right? So that mind came, right? It came into my mind. It's like, why you build other people business? Why don't you build your own business? And to be frank with you, at the start, I was scared. Really, I was fearful. It's like, oh no, now I don't have monthly pay. No bonus at the end of the year. No this, no that. No paid vacation. All of that because I never got exposed to being an entrepreneur.
Mm.
Now, one of the things my father said, and I'm not trying to blame my father, but because it's stuck. Sometimes certain things you and I hear from our, past affect our current, isn't it? It affects the way we think, right? So one
Yes.
of my great influence in my life is my father. And I respect him because he, as I said before, he saved a lot. He worked very hard. He sent me overseas. So I'm always very thankful. And yet one of the things he said was, Mel, whatever you do, don't go into business. Wow. I'm like, okay. Is that the wisdom from the old man say good wisdom? Is this something I need to keep in my mind, or is this something that is a myth? Maybe this is his myth. It's something he experienced, but maybe it's different from me, right?
Yeah.
So when he said that, because he know I was going to start a business, he said, remember your uncle? Remember, you see, so hard your uncle worked, right? And then he got so many failure. Like, yeah, I know, I remember that uncle. But today, I said, but today, you see, his company public listed. Is successful. He said, yes, but not all company like him. I'm like, okay, exactly.
I think our parents are very much the same with your father, because they've been doing companies, working for companies that have their own company also. So when they start their own business, they know the hassle. They know, there's a less time for the family, and they want the good thing for us, man. They want your father want good thing for you too.
I know. So I knew that. I say thank you. So I tell my father, thank you that I take your advice. for 17 years, I've already built other people business. I think it's time for me to build my business. And he keep quiet. He's like, okay. It's like he say, like, don't say I didn't warn you. I didn't warn you. I warn you. So I started my business in 2010, right? Which is only like 12 years ago, right? So when I started then, right, the first thing that came to my mind was, do I start it in Australia or do I go back to Malaysia and start this new thing called coaching? Because I know I have friends in different places, right, in Malaysia, and they say, oh, coaching is new and all that. So I knew that it was an opportunity, right? At that point of time, 2010, I say, this is the right time, because when I realized as a business person, right, you don't jump into something where everybody already jump in there, right? It's like, it's a bit too late, right? Just like example, cryptocurrency or whatever. You should jump in when not many people come in, right? That's when some more opportunity, of course, high risk as well. But I realized that it was a big opportunity. So I moved my whole family back from Australia. On top of that, not just me. I say, hey, everybody, let's go back. And we stayed there till 2016 for 6 years, right? And I built the company from ground up, and wow, it's a beautiful journey. I still have that company. This company is still doing well. We now have more coaches in our company, and we have bigger projects and all that. So to me, I ask myself, if I never start, I don't know where I will be, actually. You know, maybe I still in corporate doing coaching as a side hustle and doing full time as a worker, for someone else's business. And again, I'm not saying that's not good, because all of my clients are workers, of companies, right? You know what I mean? Right? That's how I get my business. So I'm not complaining that they're still there, right? But for me, I feel my own decision is, it was time. It was time to get my hands dirty, roll up my sleeve and say, now is the time to build your own business, build your name, build this, build that. All these years of 17 years have prepared you for that time. So I would dare say that, to be very frank, I've never, financially, in the coaching business, I've never had a year that was red. It was black all the way. Every year since I started till now, I've made profit, and I'm very thankful for the trust that my clients have shown to me. That's my biggest learning is, again, people, isn't it? It's not about the next deal I can sign, and not about this. It's about how I can effectively work with people to help get to where they want. Because when we serve other people's needs, our needs will be met automatically.
Yes.
So that's my philosophy. Yeah, my philosophy. Yeah.
I wonder, how would your father say after the years? You mean, not that I told you so. What would he say?
No, yeah, it's very true. It's very true. Thank you for saying that. My father was there when I launched this book, right? Bring Out Their Best. That's my first so-called joint co-author book. It was in 2014. So 4 years after I start my business, we had this book. And
Bring Out the Best.
Yeah, Bring Out the Best. And my father was at the launch. I had a press conference. I had the launch with my clients and friends and everything in this nice place. And I just felt so much, it's like joy, right? I can't explain what sort of joy or pride that I had to have my father and mother at this event. And then for us to take for photograph with the book. I gave them the book, and I could just see that in their eyes, they were very, very proud as well. So to me, I think this is that whole thing. I didn't need to hear from my father say, "Hey, good job, good job." No, I didn't need to hear. I just needed to feel that inside him, he'll be like, my son has done well. That's all. I don't need him to say anything. But down the road, and now I've launched other books, and I've done other things and all, and he now sees me in different places on social media, and he's like, you're quite famous, huh? I'm like, it's like so it's just a small kind of thing. I don't know about you and your family. Sometimes family don't say what they want to say. I don't know. I don't know whether it's an Asian thing. We don't say too much, but we say very little. But you can see from how they are feeling. My father often asks me about my business. He will say, "How's business going? Tell me about some of your clients." And I tell him story because he likes stories. So I just tell him. He just listens. And he never say anything. He never say anything. But every time he asks, how things? How is this? How is that? How is this client? And he start getting to know these people that I've been talking about. To me, that's most important. That's all. He was just checking in with me to say whether I made the right decision or not.
Mel, I think that I'm not sure how old is your parents. Pretty much, very much the same with my mother and my father. They would never tap in my shoulder and say, "Hey, you're doing a good job." But they always check in and say, "Hey, how's things?" And that's it. And then once in a very long time, they told me that, "Hey, you're doing well," and that's it.
yeah, that's right.
So
that's right.
So the next question that I'm having for you is: would you, in the coaching lifestyle, want you to be like that, or would you change again yourself the way that you do for your children?
I'll be frank with you. I won't change anything.
Um,
I think every failure that I gone through was purposeful. Everything that I have learned the hard way was a lesson of growth. I'm a believer that we only when we stop learning, we stop growing. We as people cannot stop learning. And I know you. I know you like to read. You like to get into new knowledge and new things and all that. So I feel that's one of a very rare characteristic. Because today people want information very fast in their fingertips, right? It's like, I want to know, and they don't want to know things deep anymore. They just want to know the surface. Oh, I know this. I know about this. I know about NFTs, and I know about this, and I know about this. But I sense that when people can get down to really learn about something, of course, of their interest as well, they would grow better as a person. So to me, totally. I won't change anything. I won't change anything. Perhaps what I would, if I were to change anything, is start earlier, asking better questions, start earlier, listening before I talk. I think that's the reason why we had 2 ears and 1 mouth, right? Because sometimes I feel I still don't listen. I still don't try to understand, what my children are going through. I sometimes may jump into assumption and put my own expectation on them. And I think that's not right. Even though I'm their father, I feel that the relationship needs to be growing in a different way. And so every day to me, really, seriously, I say this, every day is an opportunity to learn because, you know, yeah, I learn from every place. I don't just learn from John Maxwell podcast, you know, someone I respect. I don't just learn from that, you know. I learn from everything. How someone served me coffee today. I have a coffee here, and how they say, Mel, like, oh, you call my name. Have a great day, yeah. And she look at, because sometimes you people they can give you coffee and like, coffee, yeah, coffee there, your coffee there, but they don't look at you, right? So she stopped and just say, have a great day, and she looked.
Wow. Yes.
And to me, these are just little things, like so small, we might miss it.
Yep.
Sometimes we miss the greatest learning from the smallest things. The smallest things are trying to teach us something today, and we miss it. And that's why this year, I tell you, this year, I've done it years before, but not consistent, okay? But this year, every day I write on my phone, right? Thank you for this. Thank you for this. Every day I'm writing a lesson that I can keep right now. And I hope to continue it, you know, at least for this year, and see, and I can read, you know, what I've been writing. Thank you. Because when I say thank you, I'm saying thanks for teaching me something today. Yeah. So to me, that's how I've been doing it. And so back to your question, I don't think I'll change too many things. But yeah. Go ahead.
Thank you very much for sharing this, Mel. I want to bring you back to 2014 when you start the book. And yes, I have a lot of friends. They're very, in terms of intellectual, they're very smart, and they're very successful in what they do also. But the encouragement I always have for them is trying to do a book, because a lot of them wants to write something, and that they never had the time, or the efforts to, to really put out and doing a book themselves. And and that's why when I left the article group in 2019, I decided to write, to a list, a whole list of things that I never done.
Yeah.
And then in that list, because I want to have a good quality time with my daughters, because we sent her to the US for school in 2020s, and we know that she will be, going there. And then, at teenager, it's hard for me and her to have, father-daughter time, because every time I say, can we go somewhere together? And the answer is, no, I'm busy. No, I'm busy. And I said, how could you be busier than me? Because I have a lot of things to do. So I have to be role model, right? I say, okay, it's fine. Then I will add on top of the busyness that I'm having, it's another project which is writing. So I can prove to her that, hey, I'm with my, packed schedule, I still can manage 2 hours a day, sit down and writing. And then even if I'm drunk, I'll still sit there and doing the writing. Even, I have to, admit with you that many days I'm drunk and not capable of even, write anything, but sit down, for that committed 2 hours every day is something that I have to do. So I really had the pride of, doing the first book, and I can share the same feeling that you had in 2014, right? But I want to hear your story. How did that happen? When you are starting your business in 2010, and since when you start to have the ambitions of writing, and it's not the first one though. You have 4 by now, right?
Yeah. I feel that we need to. Yeah, I agree with you. We need to set aside whatever we want to do. We need to set aside that time to, in my words, is to honor the focus.
Honor.
We need to honor the focus. When we don't honor the focus, we are everywhere. I can easily get distracted. I really. I can be. I watch Netflix. I can watch Netflix at night because I sleep very late. So
Mm.
I alone there can spend 3 hours watching just this, but the brain not working, right? Because I'm just seeing on trying to go to sleep, watching all these things. But it's that when we get into a rhythm, right?
Mm.
And I think that's what you're saying, right? It's a kind of commitment, right? It's like
Mm.
if I say I will be on a call with her, I will be on in the call with her because I set that time aside, so I cannot touch it, right?
Mm.
So to me, it's about where is our focus,
Mm.
and we need to find that focus, and if that's about honoring that thing of that
Mm.
focus, whatever it is. Sometimes some people is exercise. If they say, I have no time to exercise,
Mm.
and then you can say you have time to eat, right?
Mm.
You have time to be on your phone for 3 hours. Look at your time, how long you are on YouTube, or look, because our phone can track how long we are on
Mm.
certain apps, right? And you have no time for 20 minutes a day just to do something for yourself, you know what I mean? So it's
Yes.
sometimes about getting people to understand where their priorities or where their focus is, where they're
Yeah.
honoring. So I like to say, where are you honoring your time,
Mm.
right?
Honoring the.
Because when you honor the time, like in my household, we don't touch our phone when we go for dinner.
Mm.
I can't say, hello, everybody, this one urgent, this one is my business, so I must take when we having dinner. No. All my client know, if Mel have dinner, don't disturb him because he not gonna pick up your phone. Because
Yep.
you said it just now, it's about role modeling, right? If we
Yeah.
cannot do that consistently, then the rest of the people will say you're just talking rubbish, you talk
Mm.
but you don't walk the talk. So to me, it's very important. It's about the honoring of what you focus, and what you
Mm.
focus becomes something that you will achieve, right?
Wow.
So coming back to the book, right? To be frank with you, I never thought I would write book, because
So
again,
what happened?
yeah, yeah. It's just one day I was talking to this friend, and I said, I could actually, I thought what I could do for the book,
Mm.
right? So my contribution was the book. I didn't write most of the book. I tell you openly, bring out
Mm.
the best. I didn't write maybe 70, 60, 65% of the book. Not me. I didn't
Mm.
write it. The
Mm.
other person wrote it. I brought in the case study from outside Australia.
Ah.
And we had like 40 case studies, right? We
Mm.
already had a few case study from Australia. I said to this person who actually owns the book, it's not my
Mm.
book, right?
Mm.
I'm just the co-author of the book. I
Mm.
say, hey, what if I bring these wonderful leaders from different parts of the world and ask them about coaching culture and how they implement coaching in their organization outside of Australia? So now this book, not just an Australian book, it becomes an
International.
Asia Pacific book. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so this friend said, that's a great
Wow.
idea. It's a great idea. But if I never have the thought, I never open my mouth,
Mm.
I never come to reality.
Mm.
So I open my mouth. So once I open my mouth, I have to honor what I open my mouth for, right? Because I'm a person like that, right? It's like, oh no, what did I do? Now I have more responsibility. Now I have to go organize the interview. I have to get it, transcribe the interview, and then rewrite the interview. And oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? And that's when you start realizing, write a book is not that simple, of course,
Mm.
but don't listeners, don't worry. Today we have a lot of different ways to do it, okay? But,
Mm.
but I'm saying there needs to be a little bit of effort,
Yep.
but a bit of focus as well. So my focus of that book was get the case studies outside Australia. That was my responsibility. So when I did
Mm.
that, and of course I also co-edit the book. go through the book and all those things. So we share on all of that, design the book and everything. So every one of us have different responsibilities. I like to bring up this point. Sometimes we can't do everything on our own. We need to work in partnership. It's just like, for example, right? I do want to, and I'll say it openly, I do want to enter Vietnam. Vietnam is a fantastic market. She's up and coming. There are a lot of young people in Vietnam because your population demographics are such, right? And there's a lot of opportunity. And to be frank, I'm looking for great partnerships, even in Vietnam. And to be frank, I'm so glad I met you and Vivian, because you have that kind of similar, it's like family, working hard, focus, not being afraid to be who you are and speak the truth and give value, and so many things that you are doing. I resonate with it. But the point is, I'm trying to say is this: we can be successful when we choose to partner. A lot of time people go work on their own and then they want all the success for themselves. It's fine, totally fine, no problem. But to me, I think there is a better way to do things these days. It's true collaboration, it's true partnerships, it's true all of that, so that what many hands make light the work, right? More hands come in. So that was my first book. So that's how the first book came about. But let me tell you, my own book, man, that was tough.
How did you come up with the engage? How did you come up with the whole idea and start that journey?
Wow.
Can I see the book?
Can
we see
yeah. Sure. Thank you for asking. This is Engaged. Oh, here we go. You can see it. Engaged.
Yeah, we have to move a little bit back.
Okay, there we go. Engaged.
Very good. We can see now.
So Engage came about because of my years of working with leaders in companies, right? I realized that even though you may be a successful leader, you may still be disengaged with your life. What I mean by that is, I sense through my work and with hundreds and thousands of people, I realized that people sometimes get stuck in the same cycle, right? It's a pattern, right? Or they think, I need to be successful, so I need to work hard. I get promoted, then I can be a boss, and I can be a boss, and I can have people under me, and I can so they think it's a cycle. I call that the default cycle, right? That means people are stuck within a certain thing. And then you know what happens after that? They turn 40 or they turn 50 and they realize,
not happy.
Yeah, it's like, where did the years go? And I wish I could be doing something else. And so this like the what they call the midlife crisis, right? It's rarely happened because people in their life, they forgot to stop and honor their own focus. Still the same point.
Yes.
Still the same point. They start honoring to make other people think they're successful. They make happy their father, their mother, their family, their friends. So everybody, when they go for a networking, they can hold their drink and say, "Oh yes, I'm successful," and I have houses here, I have car, whatever, whatever. I'm not saying that's not important. That is very important. But is that all life is? To me, success, I have a different definition of success. Success is doing what you love doing and getting paid for it and getting all the satisfaction of fulfillment, not money. Because money comes after you're successful, not before. Right?
Automatically too.
It's like money follow you when you are fulfilled, you are satisfied. It's like if when I buy something from someone, I don't want to buy something from someone like even a coffee. They make the coffee. Their face so angry and here, give me money, because there's no joy. There's no joy even in that. So I want to always, tell people you got to engage with because when you engage your life, even sweeping the floor becomes joyful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying this is the only way to be very successful like this. No. Anything that we do in life, we can be successful when we choose to engage with it fully and disengage. That means stay away from the things that is going to, you think it's good for you, but it may not be good for you in the long term. So that's what the book's all about, is how we can actually stop living life in default and start living the life you and I desire. So that's the crux of the book. There are 12 chapters on the 12 areas in our life that we may have disengaged, and we got to engage these 12 areas and become, obviously reach our potential. And success.
Well, definitely I will order one for me and Vivian. We have the principle of order two now instead of order one, because I've been taught by Chester Elton, every time that you see something good, buy two. Even so pass the coffee to somebody that you love. Buy two coffee.
Wow, it's true.
But now for the 12 principle in 12 chapter in the book, right? Is there anything that you like most that you would want to share with me in the audience that so to cool out to know?
one of the ones that I really I love all of it. Don't get me wrong. I do have favorite chapters, and because I wrote the book myself. I'll be frank with you. I didn't get a ghostwriter to write it. I wrote the book myself. Of course, I have my professional editor and all that. But the chapter that comes to mind right now, speaking to you, is how can you and I engage our brave?
Our brave.
Yeah, engage our brave. Yeah. So it makes me want to tell this story of one person who is living life in a certain way. They know that if they were just a little bit more brave, they could step out of that road, isn't it? It's like you and I drive on this road, right? Sometimes there's another road to a different place, the same place rather, sorry. But we know this road, right? We know this road so well, and we say this road is shorter, this road is more straight, this road, whatever reason. But then sometimes we've got to say, hang on, why aren't you turning on the other road, the coastal road? You can maybe see a different view. You can maybe meet different people. You can maybe experience different things that you never experience in this straight road.
If you keep going this road.
Because we often go this road back and forth. That's our life, often. Going on a similar road, expecting different experiences.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy, actually, right? That's what Einstein said. It's insanity. Yeah. So my thing is, go on to the less traveled road. And just a little principle. Of course, I write about other things as well, but one of the easiest way is, which road would you think if you were just a bit more brave, just a bit more, not say super brave, just a bit more brave? One day you might just go on the road one time, no need many times first, just one time, just to try it, just try it out, just go try it out, right? So for example, some people say, hey Mel, how you do this work in Africa, why you go to Nigeria and Zimbabwe, all this place, oh my gosh, there's nothing to give you back in return. I say, number one, I've never been there. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, never been there. Number two, I have a perception of the people there, and some of the perceptions could be wrong.
Mm.
So I'm going to prove the perceptions wrong. Because a lot of my friends say, hey, of all places, why don't you go South Africa first? You know, you got safari, you got Nelson Mandela Museum, or Kenya, Tanzania, you got the life, this and that, the mountain, everything. Why go Nigeria?
Mm.
Nigeria, a lot of people will cheat you with your money and scam and this and that. And I say,
Never been there.
never been there.
Now, I'm definitely we write the story you share with me on the book that I'm writing at the moment. It's called Rules, and there's a reason for that for me to write the book. Rules is again, it's like I want to be role model for my daughters and my son, because we cannot live it by the rules of the people. Like, it's safe. My parents always want me to follow the rules, like your father, right? Now, don't go to business. But
Yeah,
in that safe environment, that you will never realize what you could become, right? So
exactly.
I am writing the book Rules, and then just to share a lot of things that they say, hey, rich is good, but then there's a lot of way of making the money, and then it's not the only thing. So don't make the money as the priority. So
That's
I definitely will share your story in that one.
definitely, man. You can mention me, whatever you want to say, but I'm so excited. I am excited for you because, when we write based on our desires of or even our personal lessons, I think
Mm,
those kind of books are much better than just writing because it's a great concept and people want to hear it. But I
mm,
think life is need to be lived. We need
mm.
to live life, and to experience life, to be able to live it and write about it, right? So that our next generation can benefit from it.
Sure. Absolutely, man. Thank you so much. I wish the book Engage will be reaching out to many audiences, and be another success. So what next after that you're having? Is there any on the that pending for you to
Well,
do?
my mentor and my the person that I role model a lot of my professional stuff is John Maxwell. I feel
Uh,
John is an amazing person, an
he
amazing
is.
writer
Mm,
and leader, right? And John at 70 plus age, I think he's 70, 75, 76 or whatever, he is still writing books. Right? And of
mm,
course, yes, he has a team to help him write and all, but all the concepts are John's, right? So to me is this. I want to be like a mini John, a small little John. Right? So that I can continue this story, right? So engage obviously won't be the last story, other stories that I can also write on, and so I want to be like that. John releases 1 or 2 books a year. No, I'll probably release 1 book every 2 years, something like that. So
mm.
that is something to look forward for, and of course, my passion. My passion is in coaching. So one of the things that I'm very very passionate about is to equip the next generation of leaders with coaching. So always, I want, because I've seen it for myself. I've seen it how coaching was so impactful for my life.
Mm.
I don't want managers or leaders to miss out, this opportunity for their life to change when they meet up with coaching and
Mm.
be able to change the way they listen and also ask questions and interact with people. So to me, that will be the legacy, I guess, is to
Mm.
continuously equipping new coaches come and to change the world.
I have the same belief like you, Mel, and the more the success in their career, right? I'm afraid that one day they will get into a stage where they're not engaged, and
Yeah,
then they start
yeah,
asking, what would be differently that they could be
yeah,
doing, and
absolutely,
if we can help them to make coaching a lifestyle for them and make them engage in whatever they're doing, that would be wonderful.
absolutely,
Then you
absolutely.
more friends then. closer, not just a client, right?
Absolutely, my friend.
Thank you so much for joining and sharing. I asked for only 30 minutes of your time, and guess what? We're now 75 minutes already, and I love this conversation. I hope that you enjoy the
Yeah,
journey
so much.
and with us, and I wish everything all the best to you, to your family, and whatever you're doing. And we can get back onto the next time that you write your next book, right? I want you to share with me. Maybe by then I'll ask the question that could be making us, a a commitment to do something like you did in 2014 when you ask your
Yeah,
friend, what if you do case study in other countries, right? I'll
yeah,
be
definitely.
there. I'll be there to support.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much again.
Yes.
And yeah, it's a privilege.
I really like you in person too. So if anything that we've been doing, we can help out for this market, just let me know. And then I would love to further discuss on how we can collaborate. Because like you say, we can be successful together, right? Why not?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely, man.
Say hello to your families, okay?
Thank you.
Say hello to all of them for me and for
Same.
Vivian. She's not able to join today, but she definitely would love to, listen to this and even meet you guys in person.
One day, definitely
One
we'll
day,
meet.
one day. Australia is her market too, so she covering all Asia. So when she
Wow.
travels to Australia, I will go with her and we will meet.
Very nice. Look
Okay.
forward to that. Thank you. You take
Thank
care.
you very much.
Thank you.
And we meet again soon. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye bye.
Thank you.